Los Angeles may look all glamory and sophisticated, but hidden in hindsight is a massive petroleum industry. I wouldn't blame you for not knowing that because they do a really good job of keeping it a secret. Before we continue, please subscribe to the channel and ding the bell to set your notification preferences for the channel. It really helps the channel out. Los Angeles County actually produces a whopping 18 million barrels of oil a year. Though Houston can pump that same amount of oil in like a week, it looks like a dry mechanic workshop. You would think that this oil is pumped out of the outskirts of LA, leaving the city free for other activities. You would be wrong. Los Angeles' massive oil industry is right at the center of the city, but does a very good job of hiding it. These drilling activities are hidden between cafes, bookstores, and even churches. There are thousands of these rigs scattered throughout the city, and most of them are digging for oil within 1,500 feet of a house, school, church, or hospital. You might be wondering how the hell people put up with this in the middle of the city. Well, these rigs are so well hidden that most Angelenos don't even realize that they're living in the middle of a massive oil field. For most of the city's history, the oil industry was pretty hard to ignore. There were giant oil rigs along the streets and the beaches. Crude oil frequently ended up in people's houses and yards. Oil rigs were so common in Los Angeles that during the Second World War, people even voted to install oil pumps in their own backyards. This led to a massive economic boom in the city and was the reason that Los Angeles was able to become such a massive metropolis. For a while, LA alone was generating more than a quarter of the world's oil, and everyone was getting filthy rich. After a while, people started losing taste for seeing oil rigs all around them, and eventually the people of LA decided that their city needed to look less like an oil factory and more what it is now. So the petroleum companies devised a solution that would give them the best of both worlds, keep drilling for oil, but make it look like a nice city and just cover it up. Literally. The first implementation of this solution happened in the 1960s when Occidental Petroleum wanted to drill for oil in this Orthodox Jewish neighborhood outside of Beverly Hills. Now, the petroleum executives knew exactly two things about the Orthodox Jewish community. One, they didn't like giant oil derricks, and two, they seemed to like synagogues. So as a compromise, Occidental Petroleum decided that they were going to build a giant oil derrick, but they would disguise it as a synagogue, or at least something resembling a synagogue. Important, though, is that the building didn't end up looking ugly, or something you could obviously see that is a placeholder for something. The mayor of LA personally attended the ribbon cutting and called the building, quote, an outstanding contribution to civic beauty from the 60s onward. From then on, all sorts of these disguised oil derricks started popping up around LA. There are even entire oil pumping platforms off the coast of Long Beach that are disguised to look like islands with trees, fake buildings, and artificial waterfalls to mask the sounds of drilling and pumping. Of course, most of the wells aren't as cleverly hidden. Some are just sitting in big windowless concrete boxes, and some are still more or less sitting out in the open. One oil rig that has gained a lot of reputation is one called the Tower of Hope, operated right in the middle of a local high school. Just the fact that it was about as well hidden as a brand new oil drill rig on Christmas morning made it beloved for its floral walls painted by thousands of local sick children. This phenomenon is not limited to LA only. There is a building at 58 Draw a Lemon Street in Brooklyn, New York, for example. Though it may look like a regular house, on looking closely, you can see that the windows are blacked out. This is because the whole thing is actually just a ventilation shaft for the subway below. Same thing with this sculpture in Nuremberg, Germany, depicting the life and death of a married couple. It's also made to be ventilation for the subway below. And in Toronto, hydroelectric substations are disguised in buildings like this. Most major cities have some clever way of hiding ugly infrastructure, and that's probably for the best. If you have more of these structures in your area, you can let us know in the comments below. If you like this video, hit the like button and send us your thoughts and comments in the comment section below. Be sure to subscribe for more. Thanks for watching.